The theme of this conference is sustainability, and so over the past decade, as these projects have taken place, as the awareness of your campus central plan has increased, are the faculty and the administration and the students, are they aware of what you do and how you do it? And is that a good thing or a bad thing?
There's a good awareness, and I'd say that's certainly grown. And I think primarily that came out of a greenhouse gas goal. So I think I mentioned this last year, that Harvard had set a goal to cut greenhouse gas 30% from 06 to 16. So we just came out of that. And I think we've always run tours of our systems. We've always, almost every month we have some class, whether it's an engineering class, environmental class, architecture class, some class coming in, walking through the plant. So we always like to talk about what we do. But I think it was really when the university started to get an inventory of its greenhouse gas and trying to manage how it's going to cut it, that they saw the significance of what we were doing. So, the goal was achieved this past year, so 30% cut. That included a 10% rise in square footage. Right. So we had to absorb all that plus cut 30% to where we were. And the district energy systems provided about a third of that cut. So, and then the upstream grid, because New England's, decarbonized, the electric grid helped. So what they realized is there was a lot of good conservation projects and a lot of, thousands of individual initiatives going on campus, but they realized at our scale, doing a few CHP projects, doing a few efficiency upgrades of the chillers and of the boilers, that a district energy system allowed us to really get orders of magnitude higher impact on a handful of projects.
Yeah, so rather than being sort of the liability, because you're the largest source point too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You actually showed up as the hero.
And it was helpful.
Yeah.
Now, I think it doesn't end in 16, so now you get the new set of goals and we continue on. So I think it's sort of both sides. Is the awareness a good thing? We're always happy to have awareness. I think people understand that we have a lot to contribute and provide towards those goals. But I think we'd still be looked at, okay, now what else can you do and what else can you do? And I think it'll continue.
What have you done for me lately?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It resonates a lot with us. In 2006, 2007, the university did its first carbon footprint assessment, and what stood out was 90% of the Scope 1, Scope 2 emissions was natural gas that was being consumed at the plant for district energy. So, along comes 2010, the president goes out at the Globe Conference, lays out 33% reductions by 2015 on a 2007 baseline. 67% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions for 2020 and 100% by 2050.
He's writing checks your body can't cash.
Yeah, we're sitting in the audience and we're going, okay, well, the only way that's going to happen is if we do something dramatic. And it needed more than just, efficiency projects. And that's when, the biomass plant and the hot water project really became, this is how we're going to do this.
Mine's probably more on the visibility side of it.
Yep.
So I've been at NC State 15 years. When I first got there, we did not want to be visible. Mm-hmm. If the Associate Vice Chancellor had my number on his speed dial, that meant things were not going well, so we were trying not to be seen. But over the years, that has changed from from avoiding the spotlight to encouraging participation. And it kind of came home a few years ago. We were tuning up a boiler on fuel oil. And so you know what happens when you get the air and fuel mixture wrong, you get this black smoke. So black smoke's pouring out the smokestack. And
doesn't mean a new pope. Doesn't mean a...
You stole my thunder, Bob.
Oh, sorry! Sorry.
I quit. I resigned.
I'm sorry.
Tim, take my place.
Sorry.
And that wasn't planned. So anyway, let me finish my story.
All right,
then I'll shut up. Damn. I don't want the gift or anything, Rob. To heck with this. But so, seriously, so the smoke is blowing out of the smokestack right over the chancellor's office. Ooh. So the phones are ringing. Is there a fire on campus? Is there terrorism? And we're like, well, no, just calm down. So we got the situation, stabilized. And we noticed in some student chat rooms that the conversation was going from, I heard they're burning coal, and we haven't had coal on NC State since 1974. So number one, people are not aware of what we have. Number two, they were like, well, they're burning books. And number three, somebody said, that's the latest coach's career going up in smoke. Because I think we were stinking at basketball then like we are today. So that's a revolving door. And then the one that really tickled me was, it said, do we have a new pope elected? So yes, there was that comment. And Rob, thank you for stealing my thunder.
Oh, sorry.
But we do see awareness as a good thing. So we're trying to do what we can to get the students and the faculty and staff involved, because we talk about master planning maybe a little later. They have to understand why we're doing the things we're doing, why we're digging up the roads, why we're putting these 80-foot diameter tanks in a not necessarily a prominent location, but why we're putting those on campus. So they have to understand why.
We've seen that culture shift at University of Missouri well. We became a signatory to the climate commitment, set forth a rolling 5-year plan, very aggressive, and through fuel shifting, taking more coal off in place of natural gas and combustion turbines, added the biomass, more wind. We've achieved a 51% reduction in greenhouse gases, a significant change for our campus, but the expectations has really changed. We started out with seeing a lot of protests. I think many universities had the coal-free Mizzou, or coal-free
Right.
groups.
Yes.
Ours called coal-free
Beyond
Mizzou.
coal. Yep,
Right,
yeah.
and we started to see kind of an uprising in the student community. Faculty supported them, and instead of ignore them, we engaged them. So we realized that a lot of what they had was misinformation. And once we educated them and shown what we were doing and how we were trying to accomplish success, they've become much more engaged. And we actually have an ongoing group to seek input from the student community on future energy choices, which is really remarkable that we do that. Because, back for decades, it was all about, fill the pipes, electrify the wires, leave us alone as long as we're reliable.
Yeah.
Well, now everybody wants to be part of the solution going forward, and they want to do it sustainable.